Okay, good morning everybody. So how's everybody? I hope all of you are doing well. Just give me a minute as I set up my device and then we'll be ready to go. Okay. Okay, so we are at 108 people now. I'm assuming that the other 100 odd people would be joining us soon. 1 second. Okay, let's see who all has texted me. Oh my god, so many people. Let's see. Kishore, Chetan, Baswaraj, Raj, Nandan, Prajwal, Pritish, Ankita, Sanjana, Naren, Chandrika, Lasya, Manisha, Sakshi, Soumya, Kirti, Richi, Advait, Sindhu, Rifa, Pooja, Prakriti, Ayushi, Preksha, Bhumika, Chaitra, Priya, Khushi, Abhishek, Sampata, Sanjana, Vijay Lakshmi, Chetan, Tausif, Neeraj, Dhanush, Darshan, Tanya, Mahavirya, Harish, Raksh, Aniruddha, Aditya, Basu, Sushmita. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, great to see you guys. Sabka naam le liya maine. Rakshita, good morning. Okay, so I hope all of you are doing well. Okay, just give me a minute. So today will be our second lecture of the week. So after this, we have 2 more lectures to go. Good morning, Pizza. Okay, ठीक है. Start करें फिर. So today is your third lecture of human health and disease and the second lecture of the week. Okay, I would probably need 5 to 6 lectures more. Okay, it actually depends on how many diseases do I want to cover. The more diseases I want to cover, the longer the chapter would be. The lesser the diseases I want to cover, the smaller the chapter will be. Let's see. Okay, so let's not waste any more time. Let's just directly jump into the recap of what we did in yesterday's class. In the yesterday's class, we focused on your viral diseases. Right, in yesterday's class, we focused on your viral diseases. And in viral diseases, so who would tell me what all viral diseases did we cover yesterday? I remember some of them. I think we covered 5 viral diseases. Right. The first one was, as Vijay Lakshmi has pointed out, the first one was common cold. Actually, that was the last disease that we covered. Okay, so that was your common cold, and after that we covered dengue, we covered chikungunya, and then we covered rabies, and we covered polio. Okay, actually we covered them in the opposite order. We started with polio, went to rabies, went to chikungunya, went to dengue, and went to common cold. But okay, order does not matter as long as you guys remember what we learned in that, right? And again, we talked about the same thing, that is the causative agents. We talked about what is the incubation period, how does one get them, what are the symptoms, and what are the treatments if possible. Okay, chalo. So let's just directly jump into a couple of revision questions to start the class. With the following set includes bacterial diseases. So the following set includes bacterial diseases. So you have to select that option in which all the diseases are bacterial diseases. ठीक है, चलो पोल हो जाए बेटा. Let's have a poll. Okay, ठीक है, चल बेटा जल्दी से पोल आ गया. The poll is now live on your screen. Third, if you can't see the poll beta, just click on the option, or sometimes there is an error there. It's okay if you can't see it. Yes. Yes, Naren. Okay, you have 5 seconds beta. We have 5 seconds, and then I'll close the poll. Check it. 3, 2, 1. and let's stop. Okay, good morning Pritha. Chalo, let's see. Okay, so according to you guys, 67% of you think that A is correct. Okay, and A is absolutely correct. And A is absolutely correct. That is tetanus, typhoid, and tuberculosis. अब हमें पता है tuberculosis is caused by mycobacterium, right? Typhoid is caused by Salmonella typhi. Does anybody know what is tetanus caused by? Does anybody know what is tetanus caused by? So does anybody know what is tetanus caused by? So tetanus is caused by, anybody would like to volunteer? Otherwise, I'll tell the answer. What is tetanus caused by? Okay, Shreya has given the answer. Okay, Pritish, obviously it's a bacteria. That is why it is the correct answer. So tetanus is caused by Clostridium tetani. So it is caused by Clostridium tetani. So that is the bacteria that causes your bacterial diseases. Okay, good morning, Anil. So that is a bacteria which causes Clostridium tetani. Okay, which causes tetanus, and tetanus is also known as lockjaw. So its another name is lockjaw. Okay. So anyway, once I'll wrap up all the diseases, obviously I can't cover all the diseases. So what I'll do is I'll give you guys a chart of all the diseases that I've not covered. So for those diseases, you just need to remember the causative pathogen. Because I was going through previous year questions from this chapter, and I saw that a lot of times they ask pathogens of even those diseases which are not mentioned in the textbook, which I have also not covered in my notes also. So most probably by tomorrow, tomorrow I'll wrap up all the diseases, okay? And after that, I'll give you a flowchart of all the diseases that I have not covered. So in that case, no need to remember the symptoms and all that. Just remember the name of the disease and the name of the causative organism. Okay? You guys just need to remember that. That's it. No, Pritesh, kal diseases khatam hoga beta. On Thursday, I'll start immunity. Then immunity is there. Then in immunity, I have to teach you about AIDS. Then uske baad cancer hai. Then I have to talk about drugs. There's a lot of stuff left. Chinta mat karo. Okay? Okay. Now, we all know that smallpox and influenza are caused by viruses. Can anybody tell me what is meningitis? Can anybody tell me what is meningitis? Can anybody tell me what is meningitis? So as I said, whenever you see itis means what? Itis means inflammation. So inflammation of what? Inflammation of what? So inflammation of the meninges. Okay. And meningitis. So if you remember, meninges are the layers of the brain, right? So when there's an inflammation there, so the inflammation could be either because of viral as well as bacterial diseases. Okay. So meningitis can be caused by either by a bacteria or by a virus also. Okay. Okay. And anybody knows measles? What is measles caused by? Okay, anybody knows what is measles caused by? Anybody who would like to tell me what is measles caused by? Okay, so measles is caused by what? Measles is caused by virus. Measles is caused by virus. Okay, anybody knows name of the virus? Anybody knows name of the virus? Anybody knows name of the virus? Okay, so measles is caused by rubella virus. Measles is caused by rubella virus. Measles is caused by rubella. I hope my spelling is correct. 1 second, I think I might have messed it up. Measles is caused by rubella virus. Yeah, I think now it is correct. Yeah, measles is caused by rubella virus. Okay, so yeah, measles is caused by that, and it can spread by coughing. Okay. Okay, rubella is caused by Tarun, rubella is the name of the virus. Okay, and that is what causes measles. Okay, and then what is syphilis caused by? What is syphilis caused by? So syphilis is caused by what? We studied this in reproductive health. What is syphilis caused by? Come on, quickly. What is syphilis caused by? What is the name? What is the name? Okay, so Treponema pallidum. I hope you guys remember. Treponema pallidum is responsible for your syphilis. Okay, chalo. Very good. Let's move to the next question. Now, in polio, the legs get paralyzed and atrophied by obstruction of muscles, death of some muscles, degeneration of bones, shrinkage of muscles. Why do the legs get paralyzed and atrophied? That is what the question is. That is what the question is. Okay. So what is the reason? So this is something I didn't mention in the class, but I think you guys should know. Why is it that in polio? Okay, the legs stop working? Why is it in polio? The legs stop working. Atrophied means what? So beta, atrophied means degrade hona. धीरे-धीरे functioning decreases, okay, and it degrades, it reduces in size. That is the meaning of atrophy. Okay, chicken. It's okay. You can take a blind guess. Okay, you can take a blind guess. Okay, I don't expect you guys to know this because I did not mention in the class, but I think you should know this from because I picked this up from one of the textbooks. Okay. Chalo. Okay, I'll give you guys 10 seconds, then I'll wrap up the polling. So make sure that you get your votes in and make your votes count. Okay. Okay. 5 seconds and I'll close the poll beta. 3, 2, 1, and let's stop. Let's see. Okay, so no, Pranav, I do not know here. I do not know. Okay, so according to you guys, 34% of you think A, that is obstruction of muscles. Then 29% of you think that D is correct. And unfortunately, both are wrong. The correct option is option B, death of some muscles. What happens is there is death of the muscles surrounding your legs. So that is why your legs stop working properly. And that is the reason why your limbs get atrophied when you have polio. Okay, just remember that. Could be asked in the exam. Okay, so what do we have on our agenda today? So today what we are going to talk about, today we are going to talk about protozoan diseases. Okay, protozoan diseases. Okay, and in protozoan diseases, what we'll be doing is, and in protozoan diseases, what we'll be doing is, we'll be talking about malaria, and that is what we'll be spending almost 20 to 25 minutes on. Then we'll be talking about other 3 more protozoan diseases. But majority of the class will be focusing on at least half of the class or whatever time we have. We have 1 hour left. So yeah, almost 40 to 50% of the remaining time we'll be using in learning about malaria, because that's a very big topic. Okay, because we'll not only learn about what is malaria, who causes malaria, we'll be also learning about the life cycle of the malarial protozoan, right? Because that is given in your textbook. Plus then we'll be going slightly ahead also, and we'll be talking about different types of malarial protozoans and what kind of disease do they cause, Okay, well, chalo, let's start with the class then. So let's start with your protozoan diseases. So as I said, the 4 protozoan diseases that we'll be covering will be your malaria, amoebiasis, trypanosomiasis, and leishmaniasis. These are the 4 diseases that we'll be covering in today's lecture. Okay. So let's start with the first one and the most important one, that is malaria. Okay. So everybody knows what is malaria caused by. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium, which is a protozoan. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium, which is a protozoan, right? And different species of Plasmodium are responsible for different types of malaria. So malaria ek tarah ka nahi hai. Actually, we have like 4 to 5 different types of malaria, and these malaria differ in the severity of the symptoms and in which location they are found. So for example, the malaria that exists in India is slightly different than the malaria that exists in Africa, and we are lucky that we don't have the one that happens in Africa. Okay, so depending on which species of Plasmodium has infected you, you will get different type of malaria. Okay? And the incubation period in almost all the malaria is 14 days. The incubation period in almost all the malaria is 14 days, right? Okay, so malaria is caused by a Plasmodium. Okay, Pranav, there is no vaccine for malaria yet. Okay, anyway, I'll be going to talk about that later, but there's no vaccine for malaria. Anyway, so it is caused by Plasmodium, and depending on which species of Plasmodium has infected you, you will have slightly different severity of the symptoms. Okay, and it depends on which location you are in. Okay, anyway, that is something I'll be talking about later on. Let's just first discuss things that are common in all of them. Okay, so let's move forward then. Now, Plasmodium has 2 hosts. Okay, Plasmodium has 2 hosts: female Anopheles mosquito and humans. We know that when we get bitten by female Anopheles mosquito, then we end up with malaria. So the Plasmodium requires 2 hosts. Okay, for example, when we are talking about cholera, Vibrio cholera, it requires only 1 host, that is human. If we are talking about tuberculosis, it requires only 1 host, human. But malaria and some of the diseases that we'll be talking about today, they require 2 hosts. So the 2 hosts is humans, that is Homo sapiens, and your female Anopheles mosquito. Prajwal, Veerbhadra, please hold your doubt. Let's not get ahead of us. Do not give me extra information while I am teaching. Anyway, I'm going to cover that. You have doubt, then you let me know in the chat. Okay. It's not that I have any issues with you guys giving me extra information. The problem is that then I get distracted or mera flow toot jata hai. So unless you have something to ask, do not type anything in the chat. Okay, that is a general instruction for all of you. If you have a doubt, only then type in the chat. I do not want extra information from you guys. I'm sorry. I know you guys are talented. You want to give me extra information? Stay back after the class. You tell me whatever it is on your mind. Just do not do it on the class, because on my screen there are a lot of stuff that is going on. Okay, so I get distracted if I am looking at your chat. Anyway, okay. So Charles Louis Alfonso Laveran. Charles Laveran, yaad rakhna. Okay, do not remember the big ass name. Discovered that malaria is caused by protozoan Plasmodium. Okay, so Charles Laveran was the one who discovered that malaria is caused by Plasmodium, and as a result of that, he got Nobel Prize in 1907. He got Nobel Prize in 1907 for discovering the role of protozoans in causing malaria. Okay, so before that, people knew malaria hota hai. People also to some extent knew that if mosquito bites, then you get malaria. But what is it that mosquito is transferring? That is something that people did not know. And Charles Laveran was the first one who told the world that, there's a protozoan known as Plasmodium, which causes malaria. And as a result of that, he got Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1907. Okay, now, Sir Ronald Ross. Okay, now we are talking about, a doctor who was born at Almora in India. Almora in India. Okay, Pranav, hold it. I'll come to that. Do not worry. Okay, so Ronald Ross was born in India. Okay, now he was born in India because this was pre-independence India, when India was under British rule. So his parents must be working for the East India Company. That is why he was born in India, right? So, and he was in Indian Army. And he established that malarial parasite is transmitted by the bite of a female Anopheles mosquito. I'm sorry, I should have italicized this, but I underlined kar diya hai. Okay, and as a result of that, in 1902, he got Nobel Prize for this discovery. Okay, it's so funny that the disease is much more prevalent in India, but there were two Britishers who got all the credit, or two Europeans who got all the credit for discovering about malaria or different stuff. So, again, Charles Laveran got the Nobel Prize for discovering Plasmodium. And Ronald Ross got Nobel Prize for discovering that it is the female Anopheles mosquito that causes malaria, not the male. Okay, if he is Britain, then why he got into Indian Army? Because back then, Indian Army was under the control of East India Company. Okay. Back then there was no such thing as Indian Army. Whatever army India had, that was part of East India Company. Almora is located where? I am not sure, but if I have to guess, I would probably say in UP. Not sure. Nobel Prize in what, beta? Again, Nobel Prize in Medicine or Physiology. So both of them got Nobel Prize in India, Nobel Prize in Physiology. Okay, Nobel Prize in Physiology. Laveran got it for discovering that Plasmodium is responsible for it. Okay. And Ronald Ross discovered that is a female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, and as a result of that, he got a Nobel Prize in 1902. So Sahana told me it is in Uttarakhand. So back then Uttarakhand was part of UP. That means my answer was correct. Okay, chalo. I'm happy that my answer is correct. Anyway, okay, nothing new. So these two are interesting tidbits here. Okay, nobody will ask you this. Probably in 95% of the chance they won't ask you this in NEET. But I thought you should know this. Two people got Nobel Prize out of malaria, despite the fact that it is much more prevalent in India, and there were two Europeans who bagged the prize out of it. Yes, Darshan, male Anopheles mosquito do not cause malaria. Chalo. Aage badhe? Okay, chalo. If you have any doubts in any of the point, tell me. Now, the most important thing here is the life cycle of the malarial parasite. Is pe multiple questions out there. Okay, you guys will be asked multiple questions from this topic. Okay. पहले भी पूछे गए हैं और आगे भी पूछे जाएंगे. That is, what is the life cycle? Okay, you can get it in boards also. Explain the life cycle of Plasmodium in short. You can get it in your competitive also. They can give you any stage. They can ask you any question out of it. So please listen to it carefully. Again, on the next page, I have an empty slide in which I'll draw a flow chart, something that helps you, all of you understand. Okay, now the first thing is, okay, the mosquito will bite you. Okay, the mosquito will bite you, and the mosquito will bite you, and it will enter your body, Okay, it will enter your body, and when the mosquito bites you, it transfers sporozoites. It transfers what? Sporozoites. And sporozoites are your infectious form. So when the mosquito bites you, the mosquito transfers sporozoites. Shreya, do not worry about what is written. Just focus on the figure. Okay, do not worry about what's written. Do not worry about that. Anyway, I'll be writing on the side also. Next page पे flow chart पे आएगा. So do not worry about. अरे राम, zoom करना ही है क्या? ये लोग कर दिया zoom. Happy? Okay. So the mosquito, when the mosquito bites you, it transfers sporozoites in your body, and the sporozoites are the infectious form. After that, what happens is it invades the liver cell. That is the sporozoites. What they do is that they enter your liver cell. And they multiply asexually. This is very important, that they multiply asexually in the liver cell. They multiply asexually in the liver cell. Okay, they multiply asexually in the liver cell. And after that, what happens is the liver cells burst open, and the product of the asexual reproduction, which are known as merozoites, are released. So, पहले क्या हुआ? The sporozoites enter your body. They go directly to your liver cells, and inside the liver cells, they will divide asexually. Then the liver cells will pop open, and the merozoites will be released in your bloodstream. Yes, Tausif, this is your multiple fission. You can say that this is similar to your multiple fission that we studied in amoebas. Okay, so they divide asexually, and then the cell pops open, and the merozoites are released in your bloodstream. So after that, what happens is then they invade your RBCs. So पहले उन्होंने क्या किया? They invaded your liver cells or hepatic cells. Okay, sometimes in the flow chart, instead of mentioning liver cells, they might say hepatic cells also. Do not get confused. You should know this from your biology. Okay, Kishore, merozoites are the products of asexual reproduction of sporozoites. Okay, Kishore. So what happens is once the merozoites have been released, then what will happen is that they will now invade your RBCs. And then what will have is they will replicate within the RBCs, and this replication is also asexual. So जो liver cell में replication हुआ, that was asexual. The replication that is taking place in the RBC is also asexual. Okay? Then what happens is the RBCs, just like your liver cells, pop open, and the merozoites are now released into the bloodstream. Now this is very important, because whenever this happens, a toxic substance named hemozoin is also released. Hemozoin is also released whenever your RBCs are popped open. And this hemozoin is responsible for chills and high fever. Okay? So your plasmodium enters your body. Okay, it enters in the form of sporozoites. Okay? Then the sporozoites go to your liver cells. They divide asexually there, and then the product of the asexual reproduction are released. Into your bloodstream. Then, Pranav, I'll come to that. Then what happens is the merozoites then now enter your RBCs, and then they reproduce asexually in your RBCs also, and produce even more merozoites. And whenever the RBCs will pop open, okay, it will release a toxin known as hemozoin, which is responsible for the chills or malaria. So if any of you had malaria, you would see that the fever of malaria repeats after a certain time, maybe after 24 hours, maybe after 4. You do not have continuous fever in malaria. The fever repeats after a certain amount of time. It could be 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours, right? So that recurrence of the fever is because of the fact that during that time, hemozoin is being released because of the rupture of the RBCs. Okay? No, Pritish. Okay? No. Okay? So that is why you do not have continuous fever in malaria. You have fever when the RBCs get ruptured. So that is why you have a cycle of fever. That is a very important differentiation between, your malaria and your other mosquito diseases like chikungunya or dengue. In that you will have continuous fever. Here you do not have continuous fever. Here you have cycles of fever, and that is because whenever the RBCs burst, hemoglobin will be released, and that is responsible for your chills and fever. Now, in some of the RBCs, sexual reproduction also takes place. In some of the RBCs, sexual reproduction also takes place. In most of the RBCs, asexual reproduction is taking place, which is responsible for this particular cycle. But in some of them, sexual reproduction will also take place. Okay? Some of them, sexual reproduction will also take place, and they will give rise to your gametes. They will give rise to your gametes. And then what happens is, then these gametes, so when a female Anopheles mosquito will come, then she will suck on your blood, she will pick up these gametes. She will pick up these gametes. Okay, as you can see, this is the mosquito side of the cycle. This is the human side of the cycle. So the pink one, that is the human side of the cycle. The white one is the mosquito side of the cycle. So the gametes are produced in the human body. And then what happens is, the mosquito will come, and when it will suck on your blood, it will pick up these gametes from your blood. The fusion of the gametes, or the fertilization will take place. The fertilization will take place in the mosquito. The fertilization does not take place in the human. The fertilization takes place in the mosquito. And that gives rise to an oocyst. Okay, and then what happens is, the oocyst releases your sporocytes. So inside your oocyst is the development of the infectious form, that is oocyst. That is your sporocytes. And then these sporocytes get deposited in the salivary gland of the mosquito. So when the mosquito will bite a new person, it will inject its saliva, and then the sporocytes enter a fresh host. And that is the entire life cycle. So I'll repeat the entire thing again. It starts by mosquito depositing sporocytes, which are the infectious form in humans. Okay? Then these sporocytes will move to the hepatic cells. They will undergo asexual reproduction. The RBCs will burst, and the merozoites, or the product of the asexual reproduction, will go to your RBCs. Then they will infect your RBCs. Okay, in the larger portion of the RBCs, they will undergo asexual reproduction to produce even more merozoites, so that this cycle can continue. But in some small portion of the RBCs, they undergo sexual reproduction also, which produces your gametes. So when a fresh female Anopheles mosquito will come and bite this infected person, a person who's already showing symptoms of malaria, she will pick up these gametes. If the female Anopheles mosquito goes to a non-infected person, then she will not pick up those gametes, because that person does not have plasmodium. Okay, note Pritesh. So then the female Anopheles mosquito will go to your infected person and bite on it. She will pick up these gametocytes. Then the fusion of the gametes takes place inside the female body, and it will give rise to an oocyst. Okay, and inside the oocyst, you will have development of your infectious form. That is your sporozoites. And then the sporozoites will move to a salivary gland, and then she is ready to bite a fresh human being who is not infected with malaria and can spread malaria to that particular person. Okay. How many? Okay, is this clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no so that I have a fair idea. Okay. Dhanush, then it won't make any difference. If a female Anopheles mosquito already has sporozoites in a salivary gland, if she comes and bite an infected person, it won't make any difference to her. Okay. Okay, so Veerbhadra is asking why sporozoites are not responsible for, why sporozoites do not infect female Anopheles mosquito, because the biology of the two organs was completely different. Where do you think the sporozoites go? What did I mention? Sporozoites first go to hepatic cells. So the first question that you should ask yourself is, do mosquitoes contain hepatic cells? And if they do contain hepatic cells, do they contain RBCs? Because those are the two cells that are infected by your sporozoites in the human body. Okay, Athar, what are you asking? I fail to understand. That's the third question. That is the third time you have asked this question. I fail to understand your question. Is this cycle happen rapidly or slowly? Basu, as I told you, the incubation period is 14 days. So this yahan se lekar yahan tak 14 days लगता है, because the symptom starts appearing when the RBCs start popping open. ठीक है बेटा अथर, mosquito does not decide कि ये बंदा infected है, let me go to that person. The mosquito का काम है to bite that person and suck its blood. ठीक है, if that person is infected with malaria, it will pick up the gametes. Okay, it is not a robot. Let me scan who has the gametes and who does not have the gametes. ठीक है, no Pritish, the chances are fairly high enough. Dhanush, what are the symptoms beta? Obviously I'll come to it. I'll come to it. Okay, do not worry about that. Okay, anything, any other question? Rakshita, do not worry about that. Do not worry about that. Okay. Any other question? How sporozoites reach the liver cell? To the blood, because blood goes to each and every part of the body. So that is how. Okay. Okay, so now people are, so somebody asked me why, why only female Anopheles mosquito. So the reason for that is, okay, so the female Anopheles mosquito feeds on human blood because, okay, because it needs certain proteins from the human blood plasma, okay, which they use in their eggs. That is why the female Anopheles mosquito transfers it, because the female Anopheles mosquito feeds on human blood. And the reason why it feeds on human blood is because it requires certain proteins from the human blood plasma to take care of its own eggs. That is why. Okay, got it? Can other animals also get infected by plasmodium or get malaria? We do not call them malaria, but yes, I do not remember it correctly, but I have read articles on other animals showing similar symptoms. Okay, what about male Anopheles mosquito? Male Anopheles mosquito do not feed on human blood. Okay. Karthik, no, not exactly. It happens all over your body. Okay, how to differentiate between male and female mosquito? Just like we can differentiate between male and female cockroach. There are certain things that you have to look for, right? If you remember that when we were differentiating between male and female cockroaches, we were looking at their external genitalia, what is present, what is not present. Right, we were also looking at the number of segments. So similarly, you can do it for mosquito also. Obviously, I do not know that, but similarly, you can do it for mosquito also. Okay. Why only hepatic cells? So the reason for that, I am assuming, is that hepatic cells provide the right conditions for the sporozoites to grow in. Right, I am assuming that is why. Okay. Okay. Naren, as I said that beta, it has been reported that other animals do show diseases similar to malaria, but I don't think we call them malaria. No, Preksha, the male mosquitoes do not feed on human blood. That is why they cannot transfer malaria. That is why they cannot transfer malaria. Does it affect all primates? Tausif, there are certain strains of Plasmodium or certain species which affect other primates, but not, I won't say all, but other primates are infected. Okay. 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 आगे बढ़े. In which season it's more? Obviously in season in which you get more stagnant water, so rainy season. Yes, Sathar. आगे बढ़ते हैं. चलो, let me just now draw a quick. Okay. Let me just draw a quick flow chart so that you guys can. So first thing is sporozoites. Okay. Sporozoites released by, released by female. Okay. Into the human. After that, what they do is that they go to the hepatic cells. Asexual reproduction takes place. Asexual reproduction takes place. Okay. And after that, what happens is, so asexual reproduction takes place. 1 second, guys. Yeah. So asexual reproduction takes place. And then what happens is, after that, the merozoites are released. Then what happens is merozoites are released. Okay. Then what happens is, after that, the released merozoites infect RBCs. The released merozoites, what they do is that, okay, they infect RBCs. Now in RBCs, the merozoites have two fate. Most of them, majority of them, reproduce asexually. Okay, reproduce asexually to produce more merozoites. So more merozoites are released. To produce more merozoites are released. Okay, and this causes release of hemozoin, which causes fever. Okay, and merozoites are released, and then this cycle basically keeps on happening until you take a medication. Now some of them undergo sexual reproduction and produce gametocytes Then what happens is the gametocytes are picked up by the female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, so it is picked up by the female mosquito. And then what happens is fertilization will take place. And this fertilization happens where? This fertilization happens in the stomach. This fertilization happens in the stomach of the female. And then what happens is there is formation of oocyst. And then what happens is the oocyst, okay, are released from the intestine and migrate to the salivary glands. Okay, so oocysts release your sporozoites and they migrate to the salivary glands, and then the mosquito bites a fresh person, and it can repeat the entire cycle again. Okay, Dhanush, I would say that you just look it up once. Okay, I'll say you just look it up once. Okay, okay, anything else that you guys would like to ask? So is this now clear to everybody? Just give me a yes or no, beta. Yes, sabko samjha? No, Basangada, it is essential for them to follow this particular pattern. They cannot just directly skip to the RBCs. Okay, what is hemozoin, Prajwal? Hemozoin is a toxin. Hemozoin is a toxin or a poison. Okay, Darshan, hemocyan is something else, beta. Hemocyan is something else. Can it happen to other animals, beta? It has been reported in other primates. Okay. Okay. Yes, Pritish, by looking at the two type of mosquito, you can differentiate between Anopheles and Aedes mosquito. You can do that. Okay. For that, you would need a lot of knowledge, but you can do it by physically looking at it. Okay. Anushri, they have explained this cycle, but they have explained it in a paragraph form. So that is why I drew a flowchart so that all of you can understand it. So it seems like all of you are clear with this. Okay. Chalo, aage badhe. Okay. Shall we move forward now? Okay. I will be answering some of your questions that you have asked at the end of the class because there's a lot that I have to cover. Okay. What is merozoites, beta? Abhi main bola, merozoites are the product of the asexual reproduction of sporozoites. Okay. Abhishek, just stay back after the class, beta. I'll answer. Okay. And then there was somebody else who asked me, one second. Yeah. There's somebody else who also asked me a question. One second. Yeah. Dhanush, stay back after the class, beta. I'll answer your question. Okay. And same goes for you, Abhishek, also. So please stay back after the class. Okay, Basu, stay back after the class here because I've answered that question once before also, but apparently I think you were not paying attention. Anyway, just stay back after the class. So now, in human beings, malaria is caused by 4 species. In human beings, malaria is caused by 4 species. The first is Plasmodium vivax. It is most common in India. And it is less common in Africa. Okay. And another thing that you should know is, okay, so in this case, what happens is, okay, fever occurs after every 48 hours. Because I was going through the previous questions, and in one of those they have asked this question. Okay, so in Plasmodium vivax, which is the most common in India, fever occurs after every 48 hours, or you can say after every third day. That is why The malaria that is caused by this is also known as tertian malaria. Is also known as tertian malaria. Tertian matlab third. So since the fever occurs every third day, that is why it is also known as. That is why it is also known as. That is why it is also known as tertian malaria. That is why it is also known as tertian malaria. Okay. Plasmodium falciparum is common in certain parts of India, but it is much more prevalent in Africa. It is the greatest killer of human beings over most part of Africa. So most of the people that die in Africa because of an organism, whether you can take anything from an elephant or a tiger to a bacteria. The most number of people that die in Africa is because of Plasmodium falciparum. That is how bad. That is how bad it is over there. And this also causes tertian malaria. That is, fever occurs every 48 hours. After every 48 hours or every third day. But there's a difference between these two tertian malaria. This tertian malaria is benign. Benign ka matlab kya hota hai? Something that is less severe. And this tertian malaria is malignant. So malignant means something that is much more severe and that is much more fatal. Now Plasmodium vivax is not that fatal, but Plasmodium falciparum is very fatal. Okay? So Plasmodium vivax is more common in India. It causes benign tertiary malaria. Benign ka matlab kya? Not that severe. Tertiary ka matlab kya? Fever occurs every third day or after every 48 hours. Plasmodium falciparum is much more common in Africa and it is the greatest killer of human beings in Africa. It also causes tertian malaria, but it is malignant. That is, it is much more severe and much more fatal. Okay? Meghna, I'll come to that. Do not worry. Okay? So, yahan tak clear hai? And this recurrence of fever, okay? So, this recurrence of fever, iske liye ek term hai medical mein. Okay, this recurrence of fever is known as paroxysms. Okay, so when somebody has recurring fever bar aata hai, that is known as paroxysms. Okay, yaad rakhna, because again I saw this term in one of the question. So I thought that you guys should know this. Okay, how would the doctor know whether it's falciparum or vivax? Beta, we have definitive tests for that, which can confirm whether it's falciparum or vivax. Do not worry. Okay? No prakriti, just because it is much more fatal does not mean it's incurable. Much more fatal का मतलब क्या है? अगर एक बंदे को vivax हुआ, एक बंदे को falciparum हुआ, falciparum वाले के मरने के चांस ज्यादा है. That is what it means. ठीक है? Okay? आगे बढ़े. Dhanush, the symptoms spread much more rapidly. It is much more infectious in nature. That is why it causes much more death. Okay? Now, there are two more. The next one is Plasmodium malariae. Okay? And Plasmodium malariae is common in tropical Africa, Burma, Sri Lanka, and some parts of India. The interesting thing about this has an incubation period of 28 days. So most of the malaria, they have an incubation period of 14 days. Okay, but Plasmodium malariae has an incubation of 28 days. Okay, and this was the species that the guy Laveran discovered. So we know that Laveran got Nobel Prize in 1907 for discovering that Plasmodium causes malaria. So the Plasmodium that he discovered was Plasmodium malariae. That is why it's a generic name, because it was the first Plasmodium that was discovered. And it is so ironic that he discovered the one that is not as prevalent as the other two. Right? And this is the only species which can also infect other primates. So like chimps and monkeys can also be affected by Plasmodium malariae. Atar is asking where is Burma. I'm pretty sure, Atar, you can look it up on a Google map. Okay, so do that. Okay, I think you should work also somewhat on that. You should know where Burma is. Okay, anyway, I can tell you, but I won't. Okay, ठीक है? Okay, so another interesting thing is, so here fever comes after every 72 hours. So this is known as quartan malaria. This is known as quartan malaria. This is known as quartan malaria. Okay, because here the fever occurs every 4th day. जो हमारे पिछले दो थे, fever occurs every 3rd day or after every 48 hours, so that is known as tertian malaria. This is known as quartan malaria. This is known as quartan malaria. Okay, the last one is Plasmodium ovale. So Plasmodium ovale is the rarest of the 4 species which infect man. It is not usually seen in India, and it also causes tertian malaria. It also causes tertian malaria. It also causes tertian malaria, and this is very mild, not as severe as your falciparum or vivax. Okay, so these are the 4 common species of Plasmodium that you find. I want to cover one more species because I saw a question on it somewhere, so I thought you should know about this. So one more that I want to cover is your Plasmodium knowlesi. Plasmodium knowlesi. Okay, and it is found in Southeast Asia. And the reason I want to cover this is, okay, because it causes fever every 24 hours. Fever is every 24 hours. It causes fever every 24 hours. Okay, it causes fever every 24 hours, and that is known as Cutardian malaria. Okay, so malaria is classified into different categories based on when your fever triggers. So these are the 5 species of Plasmodium that you guys need to remember. Okay, is this clear to everybody? Beta, give me a yes or no. Is this clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no, beta. Are these 5 species clear to everybody? Are these 5 species clear to everybody? Okay, okay, सबको clear है? So what are the 5 species? Vivax, falciparum, malariae, ovale, and knowlesi. The most deadly is falciparum. Falciparum and vivax cause your tertian malaria. ठीक है? Your vivax causes benign tertian malaria. Falciparum causes malignant tertian malaria. Your malaria, Plasmodium malariae, causes quartan malaria because the fever occurs after every 72 hours or on the 4th day. Okay, and it is the only one that can infect other primates also, like chimpanzees, monkeys, and other orangutans. Plasmodium ovale is the rarest, and it also causes tertian malaria. The last one is Plasmodium knowlesi, occurs in the southeast region, mostly in Myanmar. Okay, and it causes fever every 24 hours. That is, fever daily hota hai. Fever happens daily. Okay, fever happens daily. Okay, and that is why it is known as Cutardian malaria. Beta, knowlesi, it is S, knowlesi. Okay, Manisha, it is knowlesi. Okay, okay, what is poisonous, beta? Okay, yahan tak sabko clear hai? I hope I cleared this out. Okay, so these are the very important, beta. Ye hai protozoan ke species, not the species of the mosquito. Mosquito is female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, these are species of the protozoans. Confuse mat karna. Okay, Anushri, I failed to understand your question, beta. Okay. Okay, chalo, aage badhe phir. Let's move forward now. So now let's talk about your symptoms. So what are the symptoms? Restlessness, loss of appetite, muscular pain, headache, chillness, and high recurring fever, usually every 48 hours. Those are the symptoms of malaria. Okay, very straightforward symptoms, nothing complicated here. You will experience restlessness in the beginning. You will see loss of appetite. Then you will experience headache or muscular pain. Then once your RBCs will start popping open, then you will experience these 2 symptoms. That is chillness and recurring fever. Yes, Kirtan. Okay, ठीक है? So how to treat malaria? अभी हमने इतना पढ़ लिया मलेरिया के बारे में. How to treat malaria? Now, quinine is the oldest drug for malaria. ठीक है. But now there are other drugs also like primaquine, chloroquine, okay, camoquine, etc. Chillness means beta ठंड लगना. Okay, so these are also, so quinine was the oldest medicine for malaria. Okay, and I'll tell you something very funny. So this vacation when I went there, I was discussing with my parents, right? Because I was preparing for the class and I was going through the notes. So I asked my parents, back in those days, how do they used to take care of malaria? Because तब तो Odonil कुछ नहीं होता था, right? Odomos I should say, Odonil कुछ नहीं होता था, right? मेघना again, अभी कवर नहीं किया ना, रुक जाओ, उसके नीचे देखोगे बेटा मैंने लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है. Yes, अतर hydroxychloroquine also. सब quinine से ही आते हैं, all of them are derivatives of quinine here. So my parents told me that yes, back then there was nothing, they only had mosquito nets. They did not have good night, all out. They did not have this Odomos and all that stuff, right? So what happens is, whenever rainy season used to come along, the government used to visit each and every house and they used to give them quinine tablets. Take one every day and protect yourself from malaria. So they used to take quinine tablets almost every day during rainy season, so that even if they get bitten by mosquitoes, they do not. Yes, Pritish, for free. Okay, so they used to give them quinine tablets for free. Okay, so that they can protect themselves from malaria in case they do get bitten by a female Anopheles mosquito. So that is how back then they used to care. Now we have all this advanced stuff, so there's no need to take quinine. Plus now we have done much more research. We have seen that continuous intakes of hydroxychloroquine can cause damage to your heart also. Okay, can cause damage to your heart also. So now it is only prescribed if you need it. Okay, chalo, aage badhe. Okay, now quinine is extracted from the bark of the cinchona tree. Okay, cinchona tree. Okay, which is mostly growing in West Indies, India, Sri Lanka, Java, and Peru. You want to know where Java and Peru was? Look it up on the World Atlas. Okay, so make sure that you remember this. Where do we get quinine from? So this is a quinine tree. We get it from the bark of cinchona tree. Okay, some people call it cinchona tree. It depends on how you pronounce it. I don't think it matters how you pronounce it. So quinine is the oldest drug for malaria, and we obtain quinine from the bark of cinchona tree, and then we can develop derivatives also like hydroxychloroquine, chloroquine, camoquine, and all that stuff. All of that comes from your quinine. Okay, got it? Okay, so is this clear to everybody? Better give me a yes or no. So far there is no vaccine for malaria. In case before somebody asked, people have asked also. So far there is no vaccine for malaria. Malaria सबको समझा क्या बेटा? Give me a yes or no. Is malaria clear to everybody? ठीक है? Okay, got it. Athar is asking, West Indies and Caribbean islands are same? No beta. Caribbean islands are a group of islands. Okay, in them one of them is West Indies. Okay. Beta Dhanush, I told you, there's no vaccine. Beta, I told you there's no vaccine yet. People, they're like, we are still developing them, but there's no vaccine. Anyway, aage badhe, chalo. So that was your malaria. Just one last thing, how to prevent malaria. I'm pretty sure all of you know. No, Pritish, they will not ask you where is cinchona tree found. Do not worry. Just know that it is cinchona tree. Okay. Anyway, so how to make sure that you protect yourself from malaria apart from using good night or Odomos and all that? Places/objects with stagnant water should be cleaned regularly to prevent breeding of mosquito larvae. So the female Anopheles mosquito lays her larva in the stagnant water. So make sure that you prevent stagnation of water. Abhi rainy season aane wala hai. You might have pots in your home. You might have water coolers in your home. Tires pada ho sakta hai, kuch bhi ho sakta hai. So make sure that you clean them regularly. Okay? Then this is very important. Ducks, larvivorous fish like Gambusia. This is given in a textbook also, but उन्होंने separately लिख के दिया. एकदम personal hygiene में घुसा के कोना सा एक line में लिखा है that Gambusia can be used. Okay? यहीं पे बता रहा हूँ मैं मलेरिया के साथ ही that larvaceous fishes like it, the fish that eats larva. Okay, so those are known as larvivorous fish. So larvivorous fish like Gambusia, some adult insects like dragonflies, insectivorous plants such as Utricularia are natural enemies of mosquito larvae and pupa as they feed upon them. Okay, so how can you prevent malaria? You can prevent malaria by preventing stagnation of water. Okay, and then we can prevent by breeding ducks. Okay, now I'm sure all of you cannot afford ducks. By breeding larvivorous fish like Gambusia, by breeding adult insects like dragonfly. Again, you cannot breed dragonflies. Basically, the point is you should not eliminate dragonflies, because dragonflies. So this is something that has happened in some of the communities. What they did was that they were so annoyed by dragonflies that they eliminated all the dragonflies by spreading insecticides. And what they saw was that the moment they killed off all the dragonflies, the number of malarial cases in the area increased rapidly. Okay, so dragonflies are natural predators of the larva of the female Anopheles mosquito. So it's a very delicate ecological balance which you should not try to eliminate. Okay. Okay, can I show pictures of Gambusia? I don't have it right now, but maybe tomorrow I can show it to you guys. Okay, or maybe at the end of the class. Okay. Okay. So, or you can also plant insectivorous plants like Utricularia, which are natural enemies of the larva and pupa of the female Anopheles mosquito. Okay. Okay, so is this now clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no. Is this now clear to everybody? Because यहाँ पे खत्म हो गया हमारा malaria. Now malaria is over. Okay, so now is this clear to everybody? Okay, sure. So now let's move to your other three protozoan diseases. The next one is amoebiasis. Okay, amoebiasis is also known as amoebic dysentery, and it is caused by Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, so amoebiasis causes, it is also known as amoebic dysentery. Okay, amoebic dysentery, and it is caused by Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, and how is it spread? Houseflies act as mechanical carriers and serve to transmit the parasite from feces of infected person to food and food products. What happens is, if somebody has amoebic dysentery, they will take a dump. Housefly will come and sit on it. The entamoeba will get stuck to its limbs, then it will sit on your food, and now you can enjoy your delicious food. That is how Entamoeba histolytica spreads from infected person to a non-infected one. So houseflies act as a mechanical carrier. Okay, so there's a difference. Mechanical carrier matlab kya? It only helps in transmitting. For example, your female Anopheles mosquito is not a mechanical carrier because it takes part in the life cycle of Plasmodium. Entamoeba does not. Your houseflies do not take part in the life cycle of Entamoeba. So it is just a carrier. It is not a host. Okay? Now, drinking water and food contaminated by the fecal matter are the main source of infection. That is why, if you must have seen that the current government, right, they built, I think, I don't know, 14 million toilets or something like that. That is why having toilets is so important, right? We take it for granted, but in village side, it is very important to have proper drainage and toilet system, because that will ensure that people will not go out to take a dump. If they do not go out to take a dump, so even if they have Entamoeba histolytica, flies will not come and sit on it because they can flush it down. That is why building toilets was one of the main priority of the government, which they have done successfully. So we should commend them for it. Okay? So let's see what are the symptoms. So the incubation period is 2 to 4 weeks. The symptoms are constipation, abdominal pain and cramps, stools with excess mucus and blood clot. This happens in later stages. So what is constipation? Constipation is unable to take a dump, unable to go to the toilet. That is constipation. Okay? You will also experience abdominal pain. बहुत ज़्यादा दर्द होगा पेट. And in the later stage, if you do not get it treated, then you will excrete excess mucus and blood. Clots will be seen in your shit. Those are the symptoms of amoebiasis. But why are you experiencing blood clots? Why are you seeing blood clots in your shit? There's a reason for that. So Entamoeba cyst. So what gets transferred to you is the cyst. So if you guys remember, I told you about incestation in the first chapter. याद है कि नहीं बेटा? Incestation में बताया था, where amoeba can develop a cyst around it, when the conditions are unfavorable, which is known as incestation. याद है कि नहीं? Yes or no बेटा? Do you guys remember that first chapter? गलती से अभी लिखा था empty, right? So what happens is when the person takes a dump, the entamoeba in its feces will undergo incestation and will form a cyst. And these are the cysts that will be picked up by the housefly. Then when you eat that delicious food, the cyst will go in your body. The cyst will pass unaltered through the stomach. So stomach में cyst को कुछ नहीं होगा because it is resistant. But because the cyst wall is resistant to the action of the gastric juice, because the juices that are secreted by the stomach, your cyst is resistant to that. But it is digested by the action of trypsin in the intestine. Okay, so the trypsin that is released, it degrades the cyst. So अब क्या हुआ? तुम्हारा cyst खुल गया. So inside the cyst now there are fresh entamoeba waiting to infect your intestine. So after that what happens is active parasites are liberated from the cyst into the intestine where it starts normal life. And what happens is it eats red blood cells. That is why you see blood clots in your stool, because it feeds on your RBCs. And if you look at an Entamoeba histolica that is active, you can actually see RBCs inside it. Okay, घर जाना Google करना. Okay, Entamoeba histolica with RBCs. You will see red spots in Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, which will represent your RBCs. So for example, if you go back to this figure, so you see these red spots. That is the RBCs of an unfortunate person that has been engulfed by this Entamoeba. Okay, so those are your RBCs. Okay, so what happens is the Entamoeba histolytica forms a cyst outside the human body. These cysts are picked up by the houseflies. Then the houseflies will transfer it to your food. And after that, when you eat that food of yours, it will go to your stomach. Stomach में कुछ नहीं होगा because it is resistant to the gastric juices. Once it reaches the intestine, then what happens is, the cyst will be broken down by trypsin, and then the parasites will feed on your intestine. Mast khana khayenge, and they will feed on the RBCs, as a result of which you will experience blood clots in your stool. Okay? Yes, Anushri. Okay? Athar, it is fatal, but only if left untreated. Only then in case it is fatal. Okay? This is the life cycle. जो भी मैंने बताया, the same life cycle that is happening. Okay? So what happens is ingestion of contaminated food and water. Mature cyst. Excistation मतलब क्या? Breaking of the cyst. As you can see, it takes place in the intestine. Then they migrate to the large intestine. Then they multiply by binary fission. They invade the intestinal mucosa. And what they do is that in some cases, if you left unchecked, they can migrate to other part of the body also. Okay? So you start eating, they will go to your intestine, small intestine, वहाँ पे they will be acted upon by your trypsin. They will break open, and then the Entamoeba histolytica will be roaming in your intestine. They will move to your large intestine. Then they will multiply by binary fission. And after that, what will happen is that they will enter your intestinal mucosa, where they will feed on the RBCs. And if left unchecked, they can also move to other body parts. Simultaneously, some of them will form a cyst. And then you will eject them. To the feces. And now they will be transmitted to a fresh person. Okay? No, Athar, not exactly, beta. Okay? So, is amoebiasis clear to everybody, beta? Give me a yes or no. Is amoebiasis clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no, beta. Is amoebiasis clear to everybody? Sabko clear amoebiasis? Amoebiasis clear to everybody. Okay? So, now let's move to your trypanosomiasis. Okay? Trypanosomiasis. Pritish, beta, life cycle is optional, beta. It's not given in a textbook. I just gave it so that you guys can understand it better. Okay, so trypanosomiasis. Now, trypanosomiasis is also known as sleeping sickness, and it is of two types. There is African trypanosomiasis or African sleeping sickness. There is also American trypanosomiasis, which is your American sleeping sickness. American sleeping sickness is also known as Chagas disease. Okay, it is also known as Chagas disease. Okay, and they get their name because African sleeping sickness is found in Africa. American sleeping sickness is found in North America and South America. Okay, दोनों के pathogen different है slightly and the vectors also different. So African sleeping sickness pathogens are transmitted by the bite of tsetse fly. It is transmitted by the bite of tsetse fly. Scientific name is Glossima palpalis and Glossima moristans. Okay, so pathogens are transmitted by the bite of tsetse fly in the case of African sleeping sickness. But in the case of American sleeping sickness, it is transmitted by kissing bug. It is transmitted by kissing bug. Before anybody asks why is it called kissing bug, मैंने कोशिश किया. Okay, I do not know. I do not know why it is called kissing bug. Okay, I have no idea why it is called kissing bug. Okay, and the scientific name for it is Triotoma dimitiata. Okay, so that is your So that is your African sleeping sickness is transmitted by African sleeping sickness is transmitted by your tsetse fly, and your American sleeping sickness is transmitted by kissing bug. दोनों का scientific name याद रख लेना. ठीक है? African sleeping sickness is caused by Trypanosoma gambianacea. African sleeping sickness is caused by Trypanosoma gambianacea and Trypanosoma rhodesiense. While your American sleeping sickness is caused by Trypanosoma cruzi. So same genus but species are different. Okay, most common is Gambiaceae when we talk about African sleeping sickness. So African sleeping sickness is caused by Trypanosoma gambiaceae and American sleeping sickness is caused by Trypanosoma cruzi. Okay, this is your tsetse fly. Okay, this is your tsetse fly and this is your kissing bug. Okay, so these are the two vectors. These are the two vectors. Okay, now let's talk about what are the diseases. Let's talk about what are the symptoms. So the symptoms are fever, headaches, joint pain, behavioral changes, confusion, and lethargy. Lethargy means what? The person becomes very lazy. The person feels sleepy all the time. That is why it is known as sleeping sickness, because the person feels very sleepy. The person feels lethargic all the time. That is why we call it sleeping sickness. For the most part, fortunately for Indians, it is not very much common in India. It is not very much common in India. Okay? Okay, so these are the symptoms, that is fever, headaches, joint pain, changes in behavior, then confusion. The person is often confused, cannot make sense of the things around him. Okay? And lethargy. Okay? Then, what happens is, the pathogens are found in blood initially. Prita, abhi bataye beta. Okay, lethargy. Fiza, I'll be answering your question in 2 seconds. Is slide pe there is answer to your question. Okay, lethargy beta. Person feels lazy all the time. The person feels sleepy all the time. So pathogens are found in the blood, but later enter the cerebrospinal fluid and migrate to the brain. That is why, Fiza, we observe behavioral changes, because later the pathogen will enter your cerebrospinal fluid. I hope you guys remember what is CSF. CSF is the fluid present in your cranial cavity as well as in your vertebral column. So your CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, that is where it will migrate later and it will enter your brain. That is why there is behavioral changes. Okay? If left untreated, the disease is almost always fatal. Agar treatment nahi karaya, तो तुम मरोगे ही. That depends when you will die. वो differ करता है. Some people die in 1 year. Some people take 15 years also to die. But you will definitely die. ठीक है? Okay. Yes, Dhanush, it can. So there are, okay, the disease is treated by giving anti-parasitic medication. Once you start taking medication, unless it's very late, it can be treated. Okay? No vaccination is available. So this is a sample of the RBCs, and these pink things that you see, those are your trypanosoma. ठीक है. So this is your blood sample जिसमें you can clearly see trypanosoma. ठीक है. Later they will go to your cerebrospinal fluid and enter your cranial cavity and enter your brain and will cause confusion all the time, will cause lethargy, will make you feel sleepy. ठीक है. Yes, Dhanush. Okay. So is trypanosomiasis clear to everybody? Beta, give me a yes or no. Is trypanosomiasis clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no, beta. सबको समझा trypanosomiasis? ठीक है. It's clear to everybody? Clear है बेटा? आगे बढ़े. चलो. Then let's move forward. Now the last one that we have is leishmaniasis. The last one that we have is leishmaniasis. It is also known as Kala Azhar. It's also known as Kala Azhar, and it is caused by Leishmania donovani. It is caused by Leishmania donovani. It is caused by Leishmania donovani. That is what's called leishmaniasis. Okay. The parasite is transmitted by sandfly. The scientific name is Phlebotomus argentipes. So this is a sandfly. This is a sandfly, which is also known as Phlebotomus argentipes. It is also known as Phlebotomus argentipes. It is also known as sandfly. Okay. This disease is the second largest parasitic killer in the world after malaria. So malaria ka first rank. Malaria is always first in killing people when it comes to parasite. Leishmaniasis is second in number. Leishmaniasis is second in number. Tamanna is asking why is it called Kala Azhar? Abhi batata hu. Tamanna, I'll give you a bit history also. The Indians have very rich history with Kala Azhar, man. I'll give you. This disease was discovered in 1824 in Jessore, India. Now it is part of Bangladesh. Now it is part of Bangladesh, but it was discovered in India. So the credit goes to whom? India. India is a very nice place to find all the types of diseases. Okay? Yes, Vidyashri, yes. Okay? So this disease was discovered in 1824 in Jessore in India. Back then it was India, but ab wo Bangladesh ho gaya after the partition of India. Now it is in Bangladesh. Okay? Now, okay, what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms? Symptoms are fever, anemia. I hope you guys know what is anemia. When the count of RBCs goes down. Weight loss, fatigue, enlargement of liver and spleen. So the person has a pet, the person will have a tummy. Despite losing weight, the person will have a tummy because the liver and the spleen have become enlarged. Darkening of the skin and rashes or scaly skin. So either the person will have rashes on the skin or the skin will become slightly scaly in nature. The skin will become slightly scaly in nature. So these are the symptoms. You will have fever. The RBC count will go down. That is known as anemia. You will experience weight loss. Fatigue will be there. Okay. Then enlargement of the liver and the spleen. So thoda pet aa jayega. Then darkening of the skin and rashes or scaly skin. Rashes or scaly skin. Okay. The disease is named. So why is it called Kala Azhar? Okay. The disease is named for the darkening of the skin on the extremities. Extremities ka matlab kya beta? Extremities means, you know, in and around your lips or your feet, hands, limbs. That is what extremities. At the extreme. At the extreme. As a chati kala nahi hoga, pet kala nahi hoga. Your hands will become black. Okay. Your limbs will become black. Or your part around the lips will become black. No Anushree. Okay. So that is why, as you can see, beta, your skins will become like this. Your skin will become like this. So that is what happens in Kala. That is why we call it Kala Azhar. Kala means black, Azhar means fever. Okay? No, Dhanush. Okay? Anti-parasitic medicines are prescribed to the patients. If left treated, severe cases are typically fatal. If left untreated, severe cases are typically okay. No, Dhanush, it does not. That is what I'm trying to say. The enlargement happens because there is fluid accumulation. That is why your liver and the spleen becomes enlarged. Okay, your weight will not increase because you will shed a lot of weight here. Okay, so it is called Kala Azhar. It is called Kala Azhar. Why? Because the skin becomes dark. The skin becomes dark and there is fever. Kala means black, Azhar means fever. Okay, in Hindi or in Urdu. That is how we call it Kala Azhar. Anti-parasitic medicines are available, but if you do not treat it, then severe cases can be fatal. So, is leishmaniasis or Kala Azhar clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no, beta. Is leishmaniasis or Kala Azhar clear to everybody? Just give me a yes or no. Sabko samjha? Okay, is this clear to everybody? Okay, this is now clear to everybody. Okay, so on that note, I stop your class. So before you drop off, just give me a quick feedback, guys, and then you guys can go. Do not go before giving me a feedback. I hope that you guys like today's class. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's class. Most importantly, I hope that you guys like today's class. Okay, thank you very much for your patience. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, take care, guys. Bye-bye.